And I tell my students that, and they just think that's wild. Not to downplay the USTA position, but I expected it to be a lot more intense and a lot more hours in school. But I figured out that it is way more relaxed than I expected it to be. And not in a bad way. The teachers are just super amazing. They really help you and walk you through everything. The students are super welcoming, and they just create a very laid-back environment that is very welcoming for first-year USTAs. My favorite part of being a USTA is connecting with my students. Between classes, I will sit in major hallways so that as they pass by going to different classes, I am there and they can say hi to me, they can use their English speaking skills, and I think it's just really cool to see that, and we just get to have a really fun conversation at any point in the day. I am teaching at two different schools. I am teaching at a gymnasium, and then I am teaching at a Praxishack. So that is a marketing-focused, business-focused vocational school. My responsibilities, there are a lot of them, not a lot, but a good amount. And I think the biggest one that my teachers are always reminding me of is make them speak. So whenever I'm planning a presentation, I always have in the back of my mind, how am I going to make them want to talk to me in class and want to talk to each other in class in English so that they can really practice and use the language functionally in a setting. The biggest difference, which has shocked me, is the size of these schools. For example, at the Praxishack that I am a TA at, there are, I think, 270 students in the entire school, and that's about 5 different grade levels. And in the US, I had 750 people in my graduating class alone. So the size difference, and I tell my students that, and they just think that's wild. They think that's the craziest thing, that there are so many people in one class, or one graduating class. But I think that also goes into play with the dynamics of the students. So they basically have their main group of students in their one class, and that's who they're with all day. In the US, we would have to move classes, and you have different people in your classes throughout the day. So that also goes into how these students react to each other and interact with each other. And I've found that all of these students are super close. They all know each other very well. So it just creates a very fun environment, and they all have their classrooms decorated to their classmates' style. So there's pictures of them on vacation together and string lights everywhere because it's their classroom, which I just love. And I think that that's really cool, and it's super fun to see and be a part of. The dynamic between my students and I is very interesting because it changes based on which class I'm in. One class can be very outgoing. Everyone has a question for me. Everyone's super welcoming. Next class, it could be that they just don't want to talk that day, or they don't know me as well because I don't see them as often. So it truly depends which classroom I'm in, but mostly I would say that we have a really great dynamic. They love asking me questions about Ohio because that's where I'm from, and it's a meme here. So they're always like, oh my God, you're from Ohio. I saw this, and this. And I'm like, I don't understand this, but sure, that's awesome. And we have a good laugh. I decided to apply to become a USTA because my best friend Caroline and I have always imagined traveling together. I can remember when we were 13 years old, almost a decade ago, writing in our journals about the travels we would have when we grow up. Flash forward to high school, and we are taking German classes together. Flash forward to college, and we're taking German classes together. And we meet our professor, Nikhil Sate, and he did this program 20 years ago, told us both to apply, just see what happens. And we were like, why not? This is exactly what we've been wanting for so long. Travel, learn, experience different cultures. So we just applied and now we're here. The most rewarding part of my job so far is when I'm in lesson with students and maybe they don't understand something at the beginning, like culturally, grammatically, speech-wise, anything like that. And by the end of class, I can start to hear and see that has changed and they're starting to understand more. So basically just seeing how my work and what I do with them in class actually helps them, especially my older students who are about to take the Matura, which is very important, obviously. So just seeing that my work is helping them in some way, especially passing such a big exam. When I moved to Austria, I knew that to feel more comfortable and to kind of get into a groove here, I needed to do things that I like to do at home, but apply that to my Austrian life. So it was like the first weekend in my new apartment, and I saw that there was a bar down the street called 60s, and I was like, all right, why not? Let's go. It was a Friday night, whatever. We get to the bar and it's a karaoke night. And I love karaoke. I used to sing all the time when I was growing up. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do. So I was like, this is perfect. And so I've been going literally every weekend since for 2 months. And I found a really good friend group within doing that of people around my age. So I've been able to then go elsewhere with these people, experience new things, and just learn from them about their life here and their culture. It's awesome. I have enjoyed most meeting new people, whether that be other TAs from the US who live in my area, other TAs, for example, from Italy. I live in a town and there is an Italian TA who lives there as well, and so I can also learn about her culture and see like what she likes, and she even cooked me lasagna one night. So yeah, like just meeting these people from different walks of life and being able to come together, share what I know, learn what they know, and just kind of build a little community here. The one piece of advice I have is to be flexible. The Austrians are very quick, the Austrians I have met are very quick to help you and maybe even do things that you don't expect. So if you're asked to do something a little extra during the week, I found that it's so much easier to just do it because you like the people around you and you want to help them as well. So it's a very community focused, everyone helps each other type thing. So flexibility I found is very important, and it's really not that hard to be flexible here. Everyone's awesome. So yeah.